to talk and tell us about her son and give us a little bit of insight about her and Roy. Yeah.
That's my kiddo iPadding. I say that should be an Olympic sport because he'd win. That's literally what he does all day, all week, and sometimes he'll even refuse to eat. I may be the odd one in the group that, like, we're in Knoxville, Tennessee. I think you guys are all in California, right?
Yes, right now on yes. Last week there was a couple other out-of-staters, but they're not here.
Yeah. So I don't know if we're going back to school or not, but my son's in elementary school. And I just, I went to go write a post in the group today to comment on, you said introduce your child, or you were introducing yours. And I started writing and I got stuck on, like, I don't even know how many years he was in pre-K. I'm like, was it 2? Was it 3? Is he in 3rd grade? I don't know, because it's just a blur. Uh-huh. But I think he's going into 4th grade. And I, as far as I know, they say April 24th, we're going back to school, but I think pretty much the whole country's just going to call it quits for the school year. Yeah. He was diagnosed with autism just before he turned 3, and he's completely nonverbal, except for when we go to the doctor and he's freaking out. You'll hear mama, 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 but that's about it. Mm-hmm. And he's still in pull-ups, but this was the first year that they got him to pee on the potty in school on, like, day 2. So this was a successful school year for a change.
Yes.
Yeah. So me being at home right now all week and him being at home is really good for the home environment to transfer what he's learned at school here, since I can be with him all day. So it's not total loss being here with him.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bonnie's grandson, that's her grandson, Joey. He's pretty much nonverbal. He says a couple, he has some words, right, Bonnie? But he's pretty much.
Yeah. He's verbal in the sense that he talks, but he's hard to understand if you don't have the ear for it like I do, because I'm here all the time.
And only if he wants to talk, right?
Oh yes. No. If you're talking about something that he likes, like Thomas the Train, he's nonstop talking.
Yeah. Right. But he's how old is Joey now?
He's 16.
Yeah, he's 16. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Yeah, there's not. Yeah. Yeah. He watches soap operas. Isn't that funny?
Just the videos.
I know, I got a kick out of that too. Yeah, it's so funny.
Oh gosh.
So yeah. So that's awesome. And tell us a little bit. So now he's in more of a home program. Tell us about his program, April. What is his program?
He goes to public school. Okay. But now since he's been home, they just had the one Zoom call yesterday. Yeah. And all they did was just call a Zoom call just to get the kids to see each other on camera. There was no plan. It was just let's see how it goes.
Okay.
And it didn't go very well.
Yeah, and then you said they don't turn off everyone. Why aren't they muting everyone? That to me is insane. Like
That's the same thing that I'm going through. You not only hear the kids and their behaviors, including Joey banging on the table,
yeah,
but all the background, the other kids that are home at school too, you hear them running around and I can't even follow the teacher. There's so much noise.
Yeah, and somebody else told me the same thing from another district. And it's like, why on earth are they doing that? That just makes no sense whatsoever. They're not,
because they have to do it one by one manually. So they would constantly have to be muting people.
But that's okay. That's what you do that's what I do when I have classes online. I mean, because otherwise it's noisy, even when we don't have autistic kids there. The mom's like doing something and it's all noisy. I mute everybody.
They haven't sent a survey yet, but I'm going to fill that part out. But I keep reminding the teacher. I said, "Can you mute so and so because I can't hear you?"
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna go put him to bed. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hi, Aria. Hi. That's Aria. That's Bree's daughter.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
What did you do today with Mom?
We played.
You played?
Yeah.
Did you do any schoolwork?
No.
Yesterday.
No.
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you work on?
You did speech.
We did speech and some other work.
Okay, good. That's awesome. Yeah. You got to keep up with your schoolwork, right? Because we don't want to get behind.
Oh, hi.
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 Oh my goodness. Aria is 7. Addie is 4.
Yeah.
Yep, she's 7. Yep. Yep, she's 7. You're 4, yes.
Mommy, who is that?
You're not 5.
Who's that guy?
They're like, okay, now we're not going to leave because you let us.
No,
keep
I
on
know.
going.
I know. It's crazy. I have to take my chicken out of the oven really quick and I'll pop back on.
Okay, I'll wait for you and I'll wait for Abel to come back on then because I want to tell you guys.
I'm listening. I'm just going to turn my video off for a minute.
Okay. All right. So, what's going on is, you know how I put a call to action out to all the parents on both my Facebook pages and last week. Last week there was a lot more people than this week, but on our call. But they were going to, I don't know if you know this, Bonnie, but they were gonna they were putting forth a vote with the Secretary Dovas to waive all the compensatory services and their responsibilities to do anything, right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yes, they were trying to say, no, we're not gonna owe anybody when we come back to school. All those services are gonna be waived. And we don't want to be held accountable to having to do anything while we're out of school. And so so COPA, all the parent attorneys and advocates from across the nation were like, hell no, you guys are going to, and you're going to continue with IDEA because there's nowhere in IDEA that says, okay, if there's a pandemic, then you guys don't have to do anything. So there's nothing there, so they can't pull that just out of their hat, right? So parents flooded all their senators and congressmen with all these letters demanding you cannot do that. So then that got pulled back and they didn't do it. And then they that big stimulus bill came out last Friday. And so let me see here. So I have, that was a $2.2 trillion stimulus bill, which also goes into funding IDEA. And let's see, and then it's going to flow to Title I, which is IDEA, to Elementary and Secondary Education's Act. And then COPA, along with other advocates, successfully fought to keep a provision out of the bill, which would have granted Secretary Davos's authority to waive key tenets of IDEA. So that was put aside. And however, Congress did include an expansion of the Secretary's authority to waive certain provisions under IDEA and Higher Education Act, but the Secretary cannot waive any civil rights and protections under these acts. So she still has some kind of authority to do some stuff, but she can't violate the civil rights and protections under the acts. So really, that's kind of general to me. Like, what does that really mean? But
Yeah,
I know
what does civil rights mean?
Yeah, I know. Like, okay, civil rights, doesn't that mean everything? Does that mean education?
It needs discriminate. It needs discrimination, I believe, but I don't know how that relates.
I would say that, you know, not educating kids and following IDEA mandates is civil rights. So I don't know how they're differentiating that. But
in other words, it's left open to interpretation.
That's right.
On their part, yeah.
Yes, just like all the legal jargon is, right?
Yep.
So then COPA continues to oppose any waivers to IDEA provisions and requirements. They're continuing to oppose it. And they're saying that now is the time to embrace IDEA's requirements and partner with schools and families. That's what they're saying. They're saying, you know, don't pull this crap now, you know, at this time of need, when the whole, you know, nation is, in this disarray, and families and parents go under this pressure. Why would you add more pressure on families of kids with disabilities, you know, which is just so inhumane. And it just, again, you know, goes right back to why I'm an advocate and why I do what I do, is that it's just inhumane, and it's civil and educational rights of these kids constantly being violated, constantly being not provided. They're constantly being discriminated against, and it's just, you know, it's just not acceptable anymore. It's not acceptable in 2020 anymore for this to go on. So I'm really focusing now on getting parents together to really make a stand and to say, this has to stop. This has to stop. It's ridiculous that parents have to go fight just to get what's already in IDEA, you know, and it's not getting better, it's getting worse. And so, you know, it has to stop. I mean, everybody else has equal rights and civil rights. You know, transvestites have equal civil rights, and our special ed beautiful children don't have equal rights. I mean, it's just not okay anymore, and it's not acceptable anymore. And so, you know, that's why I have created the other Facebook page, which is the Special Education Parent Empowerment Network. That's the one where I'm going to try to gather together the parents that really want to take a stand with me. And because I'm going to be doing a different kind of, not just, okay, you know, I still want every parent to, okay, for your kid, we're going to win for your kid. But we have to go bigger now. We have to go bigger. We have to start really, you know, and it's not, I don't think it's a fight against the system. This is what I think. This whole system needs to be dismantled and built again, because it doesn't only not serve our kids, it doesn't serve gen ed kids either. I mean, there's a whole big movement of people that are saying the educational system doesn't work for any kid, and it doesn't. And you know, the whole thing about our kids, you know, graduate from college, and what do they get? You know, they have this huge debt, and they still don't have a career. So, you know, it goes across the board. but especially with special ed, the kids are so much more discriminated against, and they're not treated as equal human beings. They're really not. They're not treated as equal human beings.
Wouldn't it be nice
it's
in
not okay.
the IEP? Wouldn't it be nice in the IEP if they had, you wouldn't have to be playing the games and fighting with them, and they would have everything they need at their disposal, and
Yeah.
then you just add their special things that they need on top of that, and then you'd be out of there in record time, instead of having to fight for 4 hours to get to fight, just to get the minimum services that he needs.
Exactly. And go through the bullshit process of, oh, first you got to do this and then you got to do that. You can't ask for this till you're at the end, and you can't blah, 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 blah.
We have to be done in 10 minutes. I have another meeting.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. We have to reconvene. Sorry, we didn't get to it. You don't get to talk till the next meeting. Then we'll go through another 3 hours. We have to sit there and be quiet till we get to, all that crap, all that bureaucracy. It's just, no, not going to work anymore. Like, I think a lot of things are going to change after this coronavirus thing. I think, a lot of stuff, I'm looking at it as a reset. I'm looking at it as a lot of stuff's gonna change. Like I'm looking at it, it's going to be something good, because
it could go the other way. It could go the other way.
It could, Bonnie, it could, but I'm just keeping real positive. Like, if it doesn't get better, then it's really scary. Like, it's really scary. Like, I wouldn't have any kids right now. So it's not to get better. I wouldn't have kids, but not me, but like my kids. I'm like, I'm really scared for you to have a kid. It's scary bringing up children right now, young ones. It's
they can just have you log on like I do every morning and say, oh, Joey attended for the day. And it doesn't matter if he's sitting in front of the computer or not. We have his attendance.
It's ridiculous. So, I just, I think that, there is a better way, and a lot of people know there's a better way, and all kids learn differently, not just our kids. Our kids need a multi-sensory approach. They need to move their bodies. They need to move around the room. They need to have different ways of learning. And many kids learn that way, not just even special ed kids. Many kids learn in a multi-sensory approach and differentiated learning with all different levels, not just, okay, here's the lesson. The teacher talks up in front of the room. They take a test, they read a chapter, and then they take a test. That's not the way kids learn anymore. And so across the board, education has to be reformed, and it has to be, and there is a better way. And I think that they need to change it, and the bureaucrats need to they need to partner with the families that they serve. They need to serve the kids. The kids need to come first before the funding. It's about the children. It's not about the money. And that whole mindset of the profit sharing, the stakeholders, we have to save money. We're going to say no because we don't have enough money. All that crap needs to go. And we need to build a different new system that's going to serve the kids and educate the kids. Because since 1974, when Bush signed IDA into law, he said when he was signing it, this is never going to work because it's never going to be fully funded, and it's going to pit parents and educators against one another, and it's never going to work. He said that when he was signing the bill, and today in 2020, it's still that way. So us, the parents, we are the ones that are going to have to change it. Because they'll never change it. So that's my big soapbox for the night, because I'm really mad now, because I'm like, here's another big, huge, this is like historic what's happening right now. And it's unprecedented. And what do? Their immediate go-to is cut the funding for the kids in special ed. We don't want to do anything for them, and we're not going to make up any services. That's their first go-to. So let's save the money in special ed. And I'm like, Okay, that's it. That is it for me. That's not going to be okay.
That's a
That's
shame.
not going to be okay. So, yeah. And it's not, I don't see it as, I love teachers. I'm friends with a lot of the administrators. I don't look at them as bad people. I know most of them want to help our kiddos and love kids. That's why they went into special ed, because they love our kids too. But it's the bureaucrats, the bureaucracy of the system that keeps them chained to that agenda. And that all that has to change. All that has to change, because it doesn't have to be that way. They can really be free to really serve our kids and teach our kids the way our kids learn. Every kid on an IEP learns differently, and even general ed kids learn differently. And I'm sorry to say, I have an older girl. She's Asperger's, and she can't attend a regular high school classroom. She just can't do it. She's too much for her. She can't do it. But she's like so intelligent. She's just brilliant. She's like, her IQ is like 130. And so we created a program for her where she gets still, because she wants to be in high school, but she can't handle it. So she still goes to the campus, but she goes to a separate room where she's all alone, and she has her own teacher, and that's her program. She has her own private teacher, and she'll go to like lunch, if she can handle it, she'll go to lunch and see some friends, and she'll integrate when she can, but then so it's her own individualized program. That's what everything kids should have. Their individualized program that's going to serve them and be the best for them, so they can learn, but yet they can learn in a comforting way, where their anxiety isn't raised, and where they're going to, make the most of their time and learn the best that they can. And that's the way it should be. But we shouldn't have to squeeze our kids into the little box. Okay, here's the class, and you send your kid to this class, and your kid has to squeeze into that box in that class, even though it's not the best for your child, and your child can't learn there, and it's just going to be fake, and they're not going to ever make any progress. But that's the class we're going to put your kid in. That kind of mentality. That's got to go. Yeah.
So what's the answer to that? Like, because they don't have enough people to do the one-to-one.
Well, it's how you advocate and how you approach it. It's possible to get it, because I've gotten lots of stuff like that after doing that. You got to take the steps to do it, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And that's not, I'm not an attorney, and I'm not the kind of advocate that's adversarial either. I work as a team with them, and I bring the team together to work together for the child, for the benefit of the child, and not to cause an adversarial relationships, because that doesn't help moms at all.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gone, and the mom's sitting there, and everybody hates her because of me. That's not what I do. I don't do that. I'm like, no, we're all working together. I'm only here to make it better. Nobody's wrong. No, I'm not blaming anybody. And then they start to trust me, and then things will get done. So it's not easy, but it can be done. They'll tell you no all the time, but it's really no. Is it really a no? No is their first go-to answer. And no is the easiest for them, because they don't want to do a special program. They don't want to do all these special things if they don't have to.
But then you have the teachers who want to do stuff. My son's teacher is amazing, and she's really young, so she's eager, and she's got, like, you'd think she's been doing this for 100 years, but they tie her hands, because there's things that I know she wants to tell me and suggest, and she'll like, well, I shouldn't be saying this, but do this.
I know. That's part of
it's frustrating.
It's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. So, but it just can't continue to go on like this, because it's just so discriminatory to our kids. And why is our whole society allowing this discrimination to continue to happen in 2020, when no other human being is allowed to be discriminated against? Why are our beautiful children allowed to be discriminated against? And I think a lot of it is we as parents have to stand up and say, no more. We're not going to allow it anymore. I mean, that's what the gay community did. You know, I'm not talking anything about gays. I'm just using them as an example. They stood up and they said, we want our rights. We want equal rights, and we want to be included, and we want to have equality and human rights like everybody else, because they were, you know, the way they were for many years, you know, the way people treated them for many years. And look at them now. They have equal rights. That is for sure.
But that's because that community, eventually it takes the one person to come out and speak, and then everybody else gets bold because somebody stood out as the lone nut. Yeah. And everybody else follows suit.
Yeah. No, I know exactly, April. That's my point, is that we need to get out there in droves and go, we're not going to take it anymore. We need to change the system. We want to work with the teachers, but we're not going to take the bureaucracy anymore. And you need to serve our kids.
But you have to do that publicly, and so many of the special needs parents want to like do things really like private, and
so we need to. That's why I want to like say, come on, parents. This is not private anymore. This is your child's life. This is your child's future. This is your child. You know, they have a right to be educated too, in whatever way they need to be educated. If that looks like a homeschool program, fine. If that looks like a one-on-one class in another room, that's fine. Whatever they need, but they deserve it just like any other child deserves it. And they shouldn't be discriminated against anymore. And even not just a specialized like that, that's like a big dream in the sky. Like it can happen, but that's an, you know, exception of like what I was talking about, what I did for Peyton. Mm-hmm. That's an exception. I'm just talking about serving the kids the way they're freaking supposed to under IDEA. They're supposed to get their needs met, and parents have to fight just for that. That's supposed to happen at every meeting, and that they don't do. You know, parents have to fight to get good goals. Parents have to fight to get, you know, progress for them to really work and do what they say they're going to do. You know, I mean, how many times have I heard where the kid was supposed to be getting twice a week for speech, and half the semester they didn't get it, and they didn't even tell the parent, and they owed them, you know, 30 sessions of speech, and they would have never found out. Yeah, it happened to you, Bonnie. Yeah, and stuff like that. That happens every freaking day across the nation. They break the law. Mm-hmm. Federal law that they break. They don't give a shit. They don't care that they broke the law. It happens billions of times a day in special ed.
Yeah. If nothing happens to them, you know,
they're not held accountable. They're not held accountable. And
that person's still there. She's still there.
Yes. And she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't get in trouble. Yeah. And IDEA is a federal law. And it is the only law on the books where us as laymen have to hold it accountable, have to be the ones to oversee it, and have to be the ones to make sure that it's implemented, and then hold them accountability, and go to and say, hey, they broke the law. Hey, school district, you broke the law. And then parents have to hire an advocate to write a compliance complaint to the stupid state to say that my district violated IDEA, and then they still don't. They get no, don't do that again. They'll get written up. It'll be a report, and they'll say, yes, this district broke the law. They did this, they did that. They were bad district. That's it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the way our system is. Yep. So they can do better. They can do much better. And just the fact that they think it's okay, to treat our children inhumanely and equally and discriminate against them. They just think that's okay. That and it's not okay. It's not okay. So yeah, that's just what really welled up inside of me today. Like I'm just like, I'm going to talk to the moms about this tonight, because this really makes me so angry. And it's like, I just wish moms would be more willing to say it's not okay with either. You know, I know every mom's are overloaded. They're tired. They have enough to contend with. But still, you know what? It's never gonna change unless we do something to make it change, unless we speak up.
Where are the dads? I'm like thinking, I don't know why, it just hit me all of a sudden. Like, there's very few dads that get involved in this process. And I wonder if having that testosterone involved in this would make a difference too. Like, just maybe people are unwilling to listen to us because, we're like emotional, complaining women.
And it's true that I have probably 1% of my cases over the years where a dad came to the meeting and he was involved. Now, a lot of that is because 85% of parents are divorced. So that's a component of it. But also, then the other thing is when they're not, the dads are saying, I'm at work. I don't have time to deal with that. Mom, you deal with that. I don't want anything to do with it. Plus, dads are very uncomfortable with the fact that it takes them longer. They are in denial for a long time. They don't want to accept it. They're uncomfortable with the fact they have a special needs child. They don't like to see the whole thing in their face, and so they fight that. They don't like it. And then they're just like, no, I'm at work. I'm too busy. You take care of that, and I'm at work, and I'm going to work. And that causes contention. And that's a lot of the reason why, moms get mad, because it's a huge burden, and it's anxiety ridden and nerve wracking and stressful. And then they get, moms get, resentful, and that causes a lot of the marriages to fall apart. So yeah, but that's a really good point. I wish more fathers would be more involved. They should be more involved.
I knew you were going to. I just knew you were.
Yes, let's. Yeah. Yes.
Upon us. You might be the male version of Valerie, I think.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Absolutely. And yeah, and I'm tired of things not being right. Just the humanitarian component of it. There's just so many things that need to change. And I think, because our world is not headed in a very good direction. And that's the other reason why I'm really fired up about it, because it's like, if we don't change the trajectory of a lot of things, we're not going in a very good direction here, and yeah, for our generations to come, that's what I'm worried about too with all my kids. So Bree, what about your husband? How does he feel about all of this?
Well, so before we hired you, he would go with me to the meetings because I really needed somebody in my corner.
Yeah.
And then once we hired you, I kind of just told him that I didn't need him to come anymore.
Okay.
I'm like, well, Valerie will be there with Lisa. You don't have to come anymore. And he was fine with
And he
that.
was gonna be like, yeah, I don't have to go anymore.
Yeah,
He would be there. He would be there if I wasn't there.
he would be. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he calls me. You know, it's so funny because he's not used to our meetings being obviously 4 hours, or 3 hours. So he'll text me like an hour in. How's it going? And I'm like, we're not done yet.
Yeah.
Still gonna be here for another couple hours.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
You know, and Bonnie, so yes, that Bonnie's the grandparent, and she has her grandson, and she's doing it on her own. So there's so many champions, women that I know, like they're single like that, and it's just amazing, you know, what these women do for our kids, you know, and that's the other sad, you know, component of it too, is that it's so sad when they don't have, you know, someone to help, because it's all on them, you know, to be single. And that it breaks my heart when I hear of marriages breaking up, and then I'm like, okay, that's really great. Now it's the mom all alone with the kid. Like, that didn't make it any better. It made it worse. So yeah, it's a lot of, you know, it's and so that, you know, yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah, right, right, mm, yeah, yeah, mm, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I thought, you know, where we're all sequestered now, pretty much. I'm like, wow, I got to get us online here because I know these moms are feeling, you know, completely isolated and disconnected, and we got to see each other's faces and be able to talk to each other. And you know, I always want to give an update about, you know, what's happening with the IEP, but it's not just about that. It's about now, it's about, you know, connection and knowing that we're not alone, and we're all, and to share what we're going through together. So yeah, that's
How are they going to run the IEPs? I mean, I know they're going to do them over the phone, but how can they have any data to provide you at the IEP?
Yeah, I think they're just going to do it as a formality to stay in compliance, because they're going to be so far behind and late on so many IPs. How are they ever going to make up? It's going to be thousands.
They won't be able
It's
to.
going to be a mess. I can't, when I think about it, it's like, whoa, 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 how are they going to do it? So yeah, I think it's just going to be so, okay, check, check, check. You know, we got on the phone, we saw the mom, we reviewed a couple things, check off, you know, got that IEP. And it's going to be a mess. I can see the writing on the wall, and yeah. So, but we're going to move through it as we can.
I texted my son's teacher today, and I said, since the schools are going to be closed during the time you have scheduled the IEPs, what's the game plan?
Right.
Because I had put in for that day off, and she said, correct, definitely not meeting in person. There were some questions at the school board meeting about if we would start doing them virtually, but it doesn't sound like any decisions have been made about that yet. If we do start anything like that, I will be in touch. But for now, I think the plan is to just hold off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Up in the air.
Yeah, and that's every state is saying the same thing. We're just holding off. We're just waiting. We're holding off. We're waiting. Yeah, and some, if you're like, I was shocked to hear that you had ABA come to your house, Bonnie. So I'm like, wow, no one else is getting that, so that's good. But yes, you know, if
ABA is not exempt from providing services. They're mandated to provide services.
But so are all the other ones. So speech, so all of the services, but they're not doing it. They're not getting services. Even
well, I'm getting virtual speech and OT.
You know why? Because you're at Portview. Do you know CNUSD is not doing that, Bonnie? All my clients that have Catherine Bowman, and Catherine's doing virtual now, they're not getting it. They said, no, we're not paying for virtual.
Oh, well.
Can you imagine? And she has it, and they're saying no.
Well, so I hope the district doesn't stop Portview, because I am getting it virtually.
Well, yeah. So that because you have, that's like a, you know, second, third, or third party kind of thing. I think it'll be fine. I think you're gonna get it. So that's a good thing. So yeah, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's it's a different situation for her, because she has a non-public school that we were able to have the district fund for her, and so that's why she's getting it, because it's the non-public school contract. But the public school is saying, in our district, is saying, no, we're not going to provide virtual. And why not?
It's a money issue. It's always a money issue.
They're saving money. They're saving money.
And that's the only thing that's actually individualized for him right now is his speech and OT and his pull-out services. The general the other classroom stuff is just for everybody.
Generalized. Yeah.
So Bonnie, when he doesn't get those services, does he regress?
Well, he's already regressed just being home. He's pacing back and forth and yeah, he's starting to hit himself more. He's constantly asking to go somewhere. And it's rough on him. So before this, we just took a drive, you know, through a drive-through so that he could get out of the house. Yeah.
That's her thing, Bonnie. She wants, she's building a community of parents of special needs kids with autism.
I just want to, okay. Well, I
Yeah.
just wanted to go back to what you were saying about like getting celebrities involved and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My daughter was diagnosed with a severe speech disorder, one of the most severe speech disorder diagnosed in children, and it's called apraxia. And she was diagnosed right before she turned 3. And I immediately got really involved in the apraxia community, and I held our first walk here in the Inland Empire, and did that for 3 years. And then we ended up getting, one of my friends met Rhonda Rousey at one of her book signings. And she was the one that actually got Rhonda Rousey to say that Rhonda Rousey had apraxia. And she's actually one of my best friends. I talk to her all the time. She's an SLP. She's a really awesome SLP. She lives in Denver. And so I'm coordinating this walk. This year I think it was the 2018 walk. And they had one for the first time in LA. And it was actually in Santa Monica, but we called it the LA Walk to Talk. And that coordinator had a known contact with Rhonda Rousey. Her babysitter or her nanny was friends with Rhonda Rousey's sister's nanny. And so we were able to get Rhonda Rousey to come to the walk. And she had she doesn't really need a bodyguard. She's her own protection. But she had no bodyguards with her. She brought her dog. Her mom came, and she took like 1 million selfies. And she's even been on news outlets talking about apraxia. We didn't get as much involvement as we wanted, but now she's kind of settled down and isn't really that public anymore. But so that was really big for us at that point, because she's everybody knows who she is now. Yeah.
So awesome.
So it can happen. You just have to know the people.
Oh yeah, I have a whole list of influencers, actors, sports figures that have kids with autism or kids with special needs. Yeah, they're out there for sure. And yeah. So I'm also working on starting an association, a nonprofit association, so that to work on this other, because I want to really do like activism. I want to change the system, and we really have to get some big backers behind us to say this can't go on anymore. It has to change. And then parents will join in, with that. So that's my plan. But yeah, this just really just got me going, this whole thing with this virus thing. And that's the first go-to. That's the first place they want to cut the funds and save the money again, is with our kids. This is just not acceptable. So, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
is the state still paying the district per student if they're online?
Nope, because right now the school calendar stopped. You know how during summer, during Christmas, when the school's calendar stopped, those are not legal days. So calendar has stopped. So that's why it's like a gray area, because this has never happened before. So, so they think they could just call the shots and make their own rules, but really no, because IDA doesn't say anything about if this were to happen, this is what the law says, but they just can't wave it across the board and say, this is what we're doing, and we're not going to provide any services, and we're not going to make up any services. And we're completely, not held accountable to do anything during the time when the calendar stopped.
Then the state is saving millions and millions of dollars then by not funding the districts. Then.
Yes, they are. So, and I'm not saying, I know it's going to be a massive problem and like, wow, how are they going to do it? And they're going to have to be innovative. But I can't just waive it. Okay, maybe half of it, or maybe, we start when say school starts, say we're done with this and we get back to society in May, then they should start school in May and we go through the summer. And these kids had 2 months off already. So they had their summer. Now we're going to go from May on. So, they got to figure out something good and figure it out. So, right?
Yeah.
Well, that sure would save me some money on summer camp. That's like $600 a month.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Probably a lot of moms, all the moms would do that. Yeah, because our kids the regression is going to be huge, just huge. They can't. I can't imagine. Okay, well now we're going to have summer. No, we have to get back to school after 2 months of being off. So, well, this has been great, you guys. And does anybody have anything else they want to add? And before we close,
I have a question.
yeah.
How many people are you connected with that would have potentially come to this or could come to this every week? The Zoom call.
Well, I announce it on my Advocates for Angels page, my other page, and email. So there were probably at least 900 people that were let know about it. Yeah.
Wow. I almost started tearing up before when Bonnie was talking, so that's not too untrue.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to. Yeah, let's put a little video together. Did you see? On my other page, I put a Brene Brown article up, and I thought, oh, I hope Roy sees this because he's Brene Brown. It's a podcast.
60 minutes.
Oh, I didn't see it. He's doing a podcast now. Did you know? Yeah.
He you would. I think you would marry her if you could. I hear about her. I hear about her every day. Yes, I think so. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Here.
Guys.
Okay.
Thanks. I'll see you guys
Bye,
next
everyone.
week.
Thank you. Bye.
Take
Bye.
care. Stay well.
Bye, you too.